afternoon and welcome back to Questioning Sense with me, Matt. I hope you guys are well. All is going swimmingly here, and I thought I'd come back to you with a quick review of two outstanding fragrances. Now, to set the scene, a while back, I think it's a couple of years ago, I did a review of this, which is called Overdose, and it's an absolute joy of a perfume. I really rate this one. It's a real summery one, lots of citruses, and it's fizzy, and there's a bit ambergris, so it's kind of got everything going on. Lots of sort of grapefruit, mandarin and that kind of thing, but there is a full review of it. Now, I'm not rehashing an old review, I'm just using this so you understand that we're going to be talking about two perfumes today from the House of Oman Luxury, who I have got a lot of time for. They have some really rather amazing fragrances under their belt. You know, when I bought this one, I bought it in Javoy, and I got through to smell pretty much the entire collection, and I really enjoyed all of them. There was one that I really wanted to add to my collection as well, and that was Paramore, and I came back with a sample of it. Now there is a review, I did it on Instagram. It was like a written review of Paramore, so you know, I was a big fan of it. And then the house reached out, and they've sent me two perfumes to review, and one of them is Paramore, but I wanted to just bring this one into it. So this was the original presentation. It comes in a lovely white box. It's all very luxurious, very heavy bottle, but they have new presentation now, and I'll show you Paramore first. Look at that. It's absolutely, I mean, I love this, but this is amazing. This is like next level. This weighs a ton as well. It's, you know, you can see the difference. This is a much more sort of modern approach to bottles and things like that, but it's glorious. This cap is big and heavy. The bottle is a work of art. So we're going to be looking at two today. We're going to be looking at Paramore, and we're going to be looking at this one, which isn't available in the UK as yet. You can only get this one via the Oman Luxury website, and this is called Angum. Now, I hadn't tried this one before, so it was a bit of a gamble. You know, I didn't know what I was going to make of it. But then when I looked at the notes before I sprayed it, I thought, oh yes, I'm going to enjoy this one. And fair to say, I really like them. I love them both, actually. They're gorgeous. I don't normally get too carried away with presentation, but these bottles are something that's absolutely out of this world, and they come in these wonderful boxes. So this is the box, and your perfume sits in its little holder there, and then the perfume comes with a sleeve that will have the name of the fragrance on it, and then obviously you've got the bottles. These are they very kindly put my name on these, so it was a nice little touch. So what we'll do is, I've got a spray of both of them, one on each wrist, which is a little bit confusing, but I've been wearing them an awful lot since they've arrived, so I feel like I know the fragrances pretty damn well. So we'll talk about Paramore first. Both fragrances are very complicated in their note listings. They use an awful lot of materials, very high quality materials as well, to achieve what I think is absolutely brilliant perfumery. So if we look, as I said, we'll look at Paramore first. We'll look at the notes. Do you know what? I'm going to spray a little tiny bit more now, just for the purposes of the review and a little treat for myself. Okay, so we'll let that settle down and I'll run through the notes. So on the top you have raspberry, you have saffron, you have grapefruit and you have bergamot. And then we have a little bit of rose, some lily, some jasmine, some carnation. So on the base you have leather, you have caramel, you have amber, you have tonka bean, you have a little bit of vanilla, you have patchouli, you have musks, you have cedar and you have sandalwood with a tiny bit of moss. So let's have a little chat about the perfume. So as it arrives on your skin, you're instantly going to grin. That's the first thing you're going to do. You're going to go, oh, because it smells lovely. It's quite sweet. You get the fruits, you do get the raspberry, but bizarrely I pick up on quite a bit of the musk from the base, which kind of lifts everything up. It jumps off your skin quite well. The grapefruit is there, I think, just to give a little bit of freshness. I don't pick it out as a particular note. I get the fruitiness. I get an almost sharpness from the raspberry, which is really rather good. And I think that sharpness is the combination of the grapefruit with the raspberry, making it that little bit, you know, less saccharine-like. So it is sweet, but it's not overly sweet. It's definitely spicy, and then you'll get a little tiny bit of rose coming in, but it's quite nice, it's warm, it's sweet, it doesn't go against the grain at all. It's not, you know, it's not, I don't know, it's not changing the dynamics of this fragrance at all. It's a fruity, sweet creaminess that leads you to a lovely, lovely supple leather. There is some saffron flying around in here as well, but again, it's a bit part player. It sits in the background and just allows everything to be slightly sweet, but not ever so sweet, because there's caramel that comes in there. Caramel is one of the sweetest things on the planet. I'm not a big fan of eating it for sure, because it is too sweet. Makes me teeth itch. But what it does is it gives a creamy sweetness. It's not over the top. So if you've got leather, which can be, mentally picturing leather, it's quite dry. It's certainly not a sweet material. And what this does is it allows that leather to be soft and more supple. And the sweetness is kept in check. It is sweet, but it's not too sweet, and it is creamy, but it's not too creamy. Now, the secret of Paramore's success for me is the fact that there's a little bit of everything. Nothing is overly dominant in this. If you look at some of the other leather fragrances out there that use raspberry and leather, Wydian London or Tuscan Fawn, it's all very sharp, it's all very dense, and this isn't. This is light, this is elegant, this is really, really well defined. It's just beautifully done, and I think the key to that is using the notes, using those materials in moderation, so everything gets a little chance to shine, but nothing takes over the fragrance. Nothing runs away with it at all. It's just so well done, and I think it's perfect for me. But what I like about Paramore is this is one of those clever fragrances that, lots of people it's a bit like Marmite leather fragrances. People are kind of either, I like leather fragrances or I don't like leather fragrances. This is one that will certainly appeal to both camps, because it's not over the top, because the leather's not too dramatic, because the leather isn't overly dominant. If you like leather, there's enough leather in here for you to think, yeah, this is a really good one to add to my collection. It's a lovely, sweet, creamy, leathery fragrance, which is perfect. But if you don't like leather, you can still enjoy this one, and I strongly recommend that you try it, because ultimately there's enough going on around the leather to stop it just becoming all about that. And it's just lovely. It's one of these fragrances that people warm to. People love the smell of it on me. It's going to be, I haven't worn it out that much. I've mainly worn it around the home, and I have worn it to work, and people picked up on it and said, oh, that smells nice. So it's definitely got that mass appeal to it. Yet it is a very niche fragrance. There's a lot of high quality materials, and I hate to say it, it smells expensive. It smells like an opulent and wealthy fragrance, which is what it is. I mean, these are not cheap fragrances, but they are superb. Performance-wise, it's brilliant. It lasts all day. It's polite. It doesn't. It's not bombastic. It doesn't scream, look at me, or anything like that. So it's not over the top, but it does last a very, very long time, and people will smell it around you, but you won't overpower the room. I cannot say enough good things about this. This is such a well-made, beautiful perfume, and it's so welcome in my collection. I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and I will be wearing it a hell of a lot because of the heavier materials in there. There's quite a few spices in here as well. It's certainly a winter leaning fragrance. I don't think it'll be one that I'd choose to wear on a hot day for sure, but spring, autumn, winter, perfect. I wear it for work. If you work in an office, you'd be safe to wear it to work as well. It is completely unisex. I like it, my wife likes it, she would wear it, so anyone can wear this, any age group. The thrusters will enjoy it, the more mature fragrance enthusiasts will certainly enjoy it. Yeah, this is a smash hit for me. Okay, so we'll have a look now at its brother, Angum. So what we'll do is I'm going to have a little spray of this one, and then we'll go through the notes, and away we go. So Angum, again, really opulent. This glorious, gorgeous bottle is full of glorious, gorgeous perfume, let me tell you. We'll have a look at the notes. This is kind of settled down beautifully. So on the top we have apple, we have saffron, we have cloves, and we have some citrus. And then in the base, in the mid, we have some geranium, we have orris root, we have jasmine. And then in the base we have cedar, we have leather, we have sandalwood, we have some ambergris, we have vanilla, and we have benzoyine. So what can you gauge from that? Well, it's incredibly rich, and as soon as this hits your skin, the apple, the saffron, and everything in the top become this wave of saffron. In fact, if you like saffron in perfume, you have to try this one. It's as simple as that. It's so natural smelling, it's so all-encompassing, it's just glorious. This is what a king smells like. You know, this is what a chic smells like. And I know this is a cliche that we often use when we're talking about Middle Eastern perfumes, but this is exactly it. If you're trying to think of a smell of sort of Arabic luxury, it's this. You know, there's no oud in this, but it doesn't need it either. It's just glorious. It's so dense and rich and warming and oh, it's fantastic stuff. As it starts to meander towards its dry down, nothing happens quickly with Angum, okay? The top notes get plenty of time to appear and to mellow and show off. And then it goes on to the mid and then it goes on to the base. Every stage of the fragrance is quite pronounced. And again, just like with Paramore, every material gets its chance to shine. The difference being with Angum is that the saffron is incredibly dominant with this fragrance. And I think that's right. It's the king of spices. It's, you know, an incredibly expensive material, and they're really showing it off to its fullest opportunity, you know, to its fullest potential. They're making a beautiful saffron-based fragrance and everything around it. Whereas with Paramore, everything was kind of in place to develop a fragrance. This is a completely different approach to the perfume. This is all about the saffron, and it feels to me personally that all the other materials are there to support the saffron, to make the saffron so special, and my gosh, it works so well. And it's just huge, it's deep, it's rich, it's unctuous, it's got this, thanks to the orris in there, there's a butteriness to it, you know, it's really so smooth. And then obviously you've got the slight leather, but again, it's a soft and supple leather, there's nothing harsh, there's nothing sharp. The creaminess from the sandalwood plays out as well. It's so good. And it is, when you spray it, you think, whoa, but it drops off pretty quickly. It's not meant to be a fragrance to fill rooms. The opening it's like a salvo as it hits your skin. It kind of goes everywhere and you're in this spicy, deep, rich bubble. And that bubble sort of shrinks down a bit. So it sits quite close to your skin, but people can smell it around you. Don't worry, it's not a skin scent. It's always more than that, but it lasts an awfully long time. So, you know, when I have worn this one to work, I've come back and I'm still aware of it, but it's not bombastic. It doesn't scream or anything like that. This is a high class quality perfume. This is one that you wear on a big night out. This is, you know, your black tie event. This is the kind of fragrance for that. You're wasting this if you're wearing it to work, and I certainly felt like I was as well. Don't get me wrong, it's very pleasurable and I enjoyed it, but I was just, you know, couldn't help but thinking I'm a little underdressed. So, you know, jeans and a t-shirt, probably not. A beautiful suit, a big night out, you know, a meal with your partner or something like that. That's what this is for. A gala dinner or a fancy party. That's when you want this one, and it's absolutely gorgeous for it. As I say, it's not available in the UK at the moment, but it will be soon, I believe. But you can get it direct from the site. Again, it's an expensive perfume, but the quality is absolutely 100% there. And when I say it's expensive, it's not as expensive as, say, another famous perfume house from Oman. You know, they're not anywhere near as expensive as those guys. But, you know, they're not cheap perfumes, but they're very good. In fact, I would say they're really excellent value. So there you have it. That's my take on these two fabulous perfumes. And just look at the bottles, they're amazing and they're so heavy. Oh, and if you haven't seen the video with regards to Overdose, please have a look, because this is brilliant. This is a fantastic fragrance as well, and I really hope you enjoy the video. Anyway, listen, if you've tried either of these two, please let me know and we can have a little chat about it. Hit us up on Instagram or leave messages below the video, and I thank you very much for your time, and we shall see you soon on the next video. So cheers, thanks, and bye!